I had an Airbnb experience.
Oh, did you? In Sydney?
Yep. So first I booked an Airbnb. I messaged them and I said, is it quiet?
How many days were you staying in this Airbnb for?
6.
With the kids?
3. No, by myself.
Just you. Why didn't you book a hotel room?
I tell you why, because when I have to be in Sydney I did check Lux Plus. I looked at it, but it was such a short time frame, like I didn't,
Yeah.
So, but when I'm in Sydney and I have to be there for a weekend,
yep.
What I do is I choose to stay in places that are in weird parts of Sydney that I haven't been to before.
Right.
And then I just hang out in that area. When I say weird, I just mean weird for me. Like they're not weird for the people that are there.
You wouldn't think so.
Coming from my background, probably my time is predominantly in the city and the eastern suburbs of Sydney. And so I booked an Airbnb in Marrickville.
Oh, in the west.
Yeah, it was actually
great food out there.
Great experience. Vietnamese food. Unmatchable.
And great Lebanese food
it's less Lebanese, more Vietnamese and some Greek food.
It was new town that has a bit more.
Yes,
Lebanese,
that's right. And it was a really great experience. So this is what happened with Airbnb. First, I booked a place, and it was
how much was it?
Going to be in the east. It was similar to a hotel room.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I would say similar to a suite in a hotel room.
Oh, so expensive.
Like
$500, $600 a night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was it had 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom.
I found Airbnbs in Sydney very expensive, understandably.
Some of them are. Depends where. So I was going to stay in the east.
Yep.
And then I said, is it going to be noisy? Because it's on a main road. But I think it's on a main road. And then I booked it. It was cancelable. Yep. So I booked it. And then I asked my cousin, well, you drive past and have a look at this. And he said, do not stay here. It's going to be crazily noisy.
Road
exactly.
Like okay.
Yeah. I think it might have been on Old Southhead at a bus stop. Like horrible, right?
Are you a very light sleeper? Do you get woken up by traffic easily?
In New York, I'll sleep with earplugs in.
Okay.
In fact, I'll often sleep with earplugs in. Yeah, I don't like noise.
Okay.
I'm all right with light.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, let's move to this Marrickville one. And the overall experience I would describe as the place was pretty nice. The location was sensational. But I think what has happened, I noticed an ad on TV for Stays. I didn't know that was even still in business. STAYZ.
Who bought Stay? Fairfax. No, they sold it.
Oh, yeah, they sold it to private equity.
Oh, private equity owns
it? I think so. I might be wrong.
It's not Expedia? No, I don't think it is.
I don't think so. Anyway, and so I've got so much interesting stuff to tell you about this whole, because it's your world. So Stays just ran an ad. Have you seen their new ads?
No, I haven't.
It's a bit hopeless, but the message is good, which is that Airbnbs are all just about being Instagrammable.
Yeah.
And actually staying in them is no good. It's all a veneer.
Yeah.
And Stays is actually, you'll have a really nice place that you stay in.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure it's true because I think they all have the same places, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But that is what I would say about this place and what I have found with
Airbnbs. Do you use Airbnb or Stays?
I use Airbnb. What I would say is, apart from the Gold Coast, that's the golden place for Airbnbs. Yep. They do have a tendency now to just be Instagrammable and have a veneer of being nice, but the actual quality of them, like, I don't know how.
I think it's less about being Instagram. It's more about having a good cover shot on the Airbnb page.
Well, that's what I mean about being Instagram. But I think Instagram does drive a lot of staying at Airbnbs as well. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And so, and then they try and be ultra cool. For example, I'm not a fan of showers without shower doors.
That's ridiculous.
Ridiculous, right?
No curtain either?
That was okay. Who said that? Yeah, open.
Who thought that was
into a bathroom?
That's ridiculous.
I just want to know,
flooding the bathroom every time.
How did that become acceptable?
It's not acceptable.
But it is. It's cool, apparently. I mean, it's both ridiculous. Cool and cold.
Yeah,
and so,
it's moronic.
Why do you need walls? So if you're going to get rid of the door, why not walls go? That's the next step. There's going to be no walls, and then there'll be no shower head. So I think that's the kind of stuff that goes on in Airbnbs when they try to look ultra cool. So that's my main issue with Airbnbs. The last thing I want to say on Airbnb, but I wouldn't say my experience was negative. I would say whenever I have that kind of experience, I'm always torn. Day one, I'm always like, God, why didn't I just book a hotel? But then I get to experience the area and I feel a lot better about it. And I'm like...
We hotels there as well, though.
Not in Marrickville.
Maybe you have to be a hotel in Marrickville.
Not a hotel I'll stay in.
Yeah, maybe. There's no Ritz-Carltons in Marrickville. I can say that. But maybe they're building a Four Seasons.
At least I'm honest. So another point I want to make, though, so hopefully you're finding this very enlightening because you've got very strong views on Airbnb.
My views on Airbnb, the customer experience, I think, is irrelevant now because it's more expensive than hotels. So why would you stay in a
that's why I stayed.
Accommodation?
I stayed because it was nice enough. And
you got to clean it, and
but I was just there for a few days.
And then instead of going to check in, you've got to
Lockbox.
Oh, lockbox, I know. There's always risk around the lockbox.
Not to me.
Well, but there's still risk. Maybe you haven't been done yet, but the key's not there. The lockbox doesn't work. There's a bunch of things that can go wrong with that.
Yeah.
There is a risk.
I think the sweet spot, I agree with that stays ad. That's absolutely my view of Airbnb. It's turned into all the veneer of niceness because it's not people's houses anymore. It's like for Airbnb.
It's service apartments, but individual ones. Single key
service apartments. You mean.
Exactly.
And
for the same price as a service apartment.
But I think being able to stay in a neighborhood that I can explore, that's the best thing about Airbnb now. That's my favorite thing about it. So you know how Airbnbs are banned in New York?
Yes.
So that's been a disaster for hotel
prices. I think you can
prices.
do a single room of a
in someone's house. Yeah.
But not what anybody really wants.
So my two observations about that is, one, hotel rooms have become exorbitantly expensive, off the charts.
But I think they were expensive before.
Not like this.
Yeah.
And the second is this. You can book serviced apartments on booking.com.
Yep.
You can't book Airbnb via Airbnb. They don't sell serviced apartments, but you can still book serviced apartments via booking.com. And they call them apart hotels. I say serviced apartments. They're unserviced.
Yeah.
They are basically Airbnbs that are being booked through the booking.com platform legally.
Genius.
But you can't book them through Airbnb, which I find totally astonishing.
Well, Airbnb, I think, is now doing... and they mentioned that because they had a big Skift. Skift is a big travel conference. It was in New York a couple of weeks ago. And the booking guy, Glenn Fogel, was talking about how they've bookings had a big focus into single key homes, villas.
Yep.
And I think they claim they're doing like 60% of the sales of Airbnb now. So they've really caught up to Airbnb significantly.
Well, one reason is because they can sell Airbnbs in New York, but Airbnb can't, right? So I would highly recommend, if you want to go and get an Airbnb in New York, just use hotels.com, booking.com, Expedia, whatever. Yeah, they all sell them. Airbnb doesn't.
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, Airbnb is still very richly valued, but it has dropped off since we criticised on the show. It's dropped off significantly, so 20, 25, 30% down. So, and no surprise. And I think Airbnb will continue to structurally struggle because they've lost any supply advantage. Booking.com starched out. Not only are they starched out their existing supply, as you said, they've got Booking.com has better supply now. So
that's right.
And Airbnb, so Chesky's gone back to saying we're going to do experiences again, which he tried and failed with.
Brand tick. They have brand.
But the brand's not getting any better.
But they have brand.
It's reached its zenith.
You agree they have nothing else?
Well, they used to have cornered resource. They've kind of lost all that. They've still got some scale.
But they don't have scale relative to their competitors. We always have this discussion.
Yes, that's true.
Booking is bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. Booking's a much bigger business than Airbnb.
So they don't have scale compared to that. They don't have a
Booking's bigger in hotels as an overall business, but Airbnb is still bigger in homes, villas.
If anybody was going to get scale benefits, it would be Booking.
And they do have scale. And Booking's the best business in travel at the moment. But Airbnb's
got nothing. I maintain Airbnb has nothing but brand.
Brand's very powerful for them, and that will continue. And
that's the brand.
When people have the conversations we're having, and they realise that Airbnb actually is a charade, the brand will continue to weaken, and hence why and the market agrees. Airbnb is trading on like a 20 multiple now. It's actually not even trading like a tech or growth stock at all.
I like that you say charade and not charade. I do not like charade.
I don't mind charade, actually.
It's not great. I'm surprised you didn't say it with your long A's. I bet you'll adopt it now after this podcast conversation.